So, I think this is going to be the start of the series of me documenting my nursing journey. Um, if anybody has watched my channel, which ain't much of a channel, it's just a whole bunch of shorts of me just explaining daily life and stuff like that. I think I'm going to start documenting like in actual videos about me being accepted into nursing school, which I found out last week I was accepted into nursing school, which is an absolute blessing. It was a very surreal moment that I shared with my friends and family, and I want to continue on with the path of, hopefully succeeding at this thing and becoming the best man slash person slash healthcare provider in the sense that I can be, right? But I know there's going to be some ups and downs. I know there's going to be some tribulations and the trials that's going to come with not only being, at my age, but also at being, employed full time while also trying to balance a nursing schedule and still trying to maintain a somewhat of a life outside, right? So, I like hanging out with my friends. I like just chilling and relaxing. One of the biggest things I enjoy doing is cooking. I love to cook. That's probably why the size I am, because I like to cook. And I love to give to people. I love to feed people. So I'm always cooking and trying to think of recipes. I'm on, social media trying to find, something that I can do and dip and dabble my hand into with. But the main thing is that nursing wasn't always my first choice. Um, I didn't think about it at all, to be honest. I had so many different paths that I wanted to travel, and I wouldn't call myself a failure, but I do recognize the part that I played and why I didn't succeed in those paths. And but it seemed like every time I did something in healthcare, I pushed forward. I succeeded. I took a step where everything else I did, I was taking a step back or I was falling short of something, right? So, with that being said, I was like, you know what? Let's just get into it. Why not, right? And so, my older sister, she wound up applying for nursing school and she got in. And it had me thinking, both my mom's children are on the way to becoming nurses, right? And I don't know if my mom could ever have imagined, I don't know if my father could ever have imagined that this is the path that we would wind up taking, but here we are, right? So I think this whole video thing is just going to be a chronological or sporadic thing of, just keeping myself accountable. And I don't say I have to be accountable to you guys per se, but I also know that once I put it out there and if somebody, asks me questions or they're checking in on me or things like that, I do owe something to them, right? So this is just from my standpoint, keeping me grounded and humble and wanting to celebrate with you guys all the triumphs and failures and just wanting to be more, right? And I may sprinkle in some stuff like, me going to the gym. Like I said, I like to cook, I like to eat, so, one got to work out, right? Sprinkle in, maybe going out once or twice, two or three times. And realizing that this is going to be a long journey. I'm pretty much starting at the bottom. And currently, right now, if you watch my shorts, like I said, I'm a medical assistant. I do have some type of form of healthcare experience, but for me, this is quite a few steps above. Excuse me, and I want to document that with you guys. This isn't no fancy video that's gonna have like a ton of explosions or edits and things like that. This is really me talking to you, right? Um, Now, eventually down the line, obviously, I might start adding some stuff in, start, chopping, making sure, I have a great title and an ending and, one of those please follow me and subscribe type things, right? But I think these first couple of videos are going to be real down to earth, real me, you know, not as lined up, gap in the teeth, showing everything like, who I am, right? I'm not gonna make an avatar of myself. I'm not going to do anything like that. It's just me. And I can't be no one but me, right? So, with that being said, if you are gonna watch this, I do appreciate it. And if you're interested in like watching my journey and giving me advice, tips, tricks, things that would help me to prepare for it in the best of my ability, things to look out for, then I'm all open ears. I do enjoy constructive criticism, I do enjoy feedback, and I do enjoy just being open and honest. All right. I appreciate you guys, and everything that is what it is. Peace.